Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Porsche 928 S2 I bought recently in a bit more detail. We took it up to that Bluebird event on Coniston Water, and basically Bluebird took over the video. We did a bit on 928, but I felt it deserved a more dedicated video. And I've got my 930S out as well, because both cars, in about an hour's time, we're going off to London for the London Concours event at the Honourable Artillery Club just above the Bank of England, which I've been to a few times before, and it's just a fun event. But they have a class for Sonderwunsch cars, and they wanted my 930S in, and I said, well, all right, but the trouble was I exhibited it last year and I feel a bit of a cheat bringing the same car again. I then mentioned when I bought this Porsche 928 that, oh, I've got another one, and this one has also been through the Sonderwunsch program, and there's quite a number of details inside. When the original owner ordered this car, he wanted bespoke and leather here, there and everywhere, but that's for later. And then 930S is this Sonderwunsch car that I've gone into detail in previous videos. But this video, I'm going to try and concentrate on this. We've got to take them down into London now. Then there'll be the event and whatever happens there. If there's anything interesting, I'll take you around that. And then I'm going to drive this car on my normal test route and go into a bit more detail handling what I've learned. I've done just over 1,000 miles in it now. And there's quite a lot to talk about because I couldn't believe how popular the 928 seemed to be, and it's sort of a forgotten hero, and I think it needs to be celebrated more. But that'll be the second part of the video. For now, down to London and see what happens tomorrow when judging happens and I get all the folders and all the details out, and see what they think of these two cars. Well, we arrived this morning and judging took place, and unfortunately it then poured with rain, and it's been really tricky to do any filming here because they're quite loud on the stage as background music and things. But just to give you an idea, as you walk in, there's a tremendous display of yellow cars. The theme is yellow. There's all sorts from Enzos to early Countach, Periscopo, Testarossa, Viper. It is glorious. I love colours on cars. I wish we were more adventurous with colours, but it really hits you as you come in. And then you can see the runner Plymouth there with the giant wing and the nose on it as well. This is a little group of American muscle cars, which I've always loved. There's a group of hypercars there as well. I haven't gone round those yet, the two near stage. I have to show you this S4 though. Look at this S4. What a wonderful example this is, and fantastic to see. 1986. Mad thing. We saw that one on the ice, the rally car, but to see the road going one, very special. Looks utterly perfect. If that doesn't win a prize, I'll be gobsmacked. But I'm in this Sonderwunsch class, which, and it's sort of been resurrected, Sonderwunsch. It was my car, two cars are from the 80s, and that was Sonderwunsch cars, some of these examples here. But it's come back. Porsche resurrected. It's the personalisation of cars, more going beyond the option list, having paint to sample cars like this one. I know the owner of this one, and I love what he's done with this. So Porsche RS Spider, but properly done with bespoke colours. Look how he's done the orange there, just simple use of colour, but very effective. And then the silver surround around the windscreen, coming onto the mirrors, and then this flash of silver here. Love the colour as well. Brown seems to be the new on-trend colour, and I love also that the Germans gave him a Sonderwunsch number plate as well. So that's sort of what's happening here. I've got my 928, we'll have a look at that in a moment. There's a Turbo 50, which is another car. There's a number of flat bow Porsches here. If you can just see this one. This has got a Crema bigger intercooler on it and an extended rear spoiler on it. A really special car, that one. And then flick round this side. This is a flat bow, but a convertible version. You can tell the higher horsepower engines generally by having this exhaust. So the 4-outlet exhaust, that has the upgraded 330 horsepower engine. Is that your one? Yeah, I'm just on camera at the moment, sorry. And then you come around, there's the flat bow. Now there are a number of different fronts, which I didn't realise. Some have the vents there like that, and others don't. But that was an option in period. But by 87, they'd standardised what a flat bow should look like, and this is it. And it's just a different license to mine on there, which I didn't realise as well, that little light there. So there is my 930S, which were just here. The 17-inch roof wheels, as I've explained before, are on it. They left Sonderwunsch with those on it, and the reason why owners wanted those roof wheels on was so they could fit Porsche 959, which was new at the time, upgraded tyres to their 930. So that is what my car is, basically a flat bow, but with regular wings. And it has some other things, the Porsche 959 seats in it as well, and the interior. Here is an earlier flat bow, and the owner did not option the vents on the wings. And he was telling me these lights are Porsche 944 flick-up lights, which I didn't know. This one actually was originally, I think, Saudi Arabia car, and they had mirror protectors, which I've never seen before here, stitched and with the Porsche shield. Really lovely car. He has, I think, another one of these as well, and he's got a 928, two 928s as well. But here we are with my Porsche 928. And you're thinking, well, why is this here in Sonderwunsch class? Well, this car, the original owner, this colour was not available in 1986, nor was Pasha interior that left, I think, in 1981 or 82, but he wanted this. He also wanted the full leather interior, including dash, doors, roof, sun visors, everywhere is just plastered in leather. And this, as I say, this colour was not on the option list, so it is a paint to sample Porsches as well. I've just been speaking to the previous owner of this car, who did a lot of work to bring it up to this standard, and he was telling me this is original sticker on this car. I thought he'd found them and put them on. He said no, it was on the car, and you'll see that this car was supplied by AFN originally in 1986. And you come down here, and he says these plates were with the car. They are the original number plates. So there's the Chiswick number 01742 10,000. I love details like that on these cars. And it's 86 and a half basically, this car, their term, because the S4 was about to be introduced. That had upgraded brakes on it and suspension things, and the 86 and a half S2s had a number of the modifications that were to be found on the later S4. This has them. That's why the braking feels so good. It has the Bilstein suspension on, and yeah, I'm increasingly really liking this car. So there you go. As a quick run round some of the Sonderwunsch cars here. We're waiting to about I think it's 4:15. We'll find out who's won the car. If you're asking me which one wins this class, I don't know. I think this one is a very special one. I love it's got the Recaro seats in it as well, and the extended thing. Maybe it's the flat bow cab. That's very rare. I love the RS Spider. I'm very glad I'm not judging. I really don't mind. I just think it's great that we see a celebration of Porsche here, and these colours as well, and what that Sonderwunsch stands for. So anyway, here's a quick guide. We'll see what happens at the judging.
So the winner of the Porsche Sonderwunsch category, the 2025 Porsche 992 Turbo S Omega Edition.
Well, it's been a few weeks since that London Concours, and yeah, I've done quite a lot of miles in this car since then, and including a trip down to Goodwood Festival Speed, where I was a guest at Porsche, and they had brought some of their museum cars over for us to try, and that included a Porsche 928S which was 1981 and was a manual. So in this video I can now do a sort of definitive auto or manual, which I think is a big discussion point with 928. And yeah, just go through some of the things I've learned now. I think I must have done 1,500 miles or so in this car. And the one thing I will say right from the beginning, it is an excellent GT. More so than I imagined. It's easy to do big mileage in this car, and that is helped with the current weather because it's got excellent air conditioning. But a lot of people are put off by the auto gearbox, and I'm just going to explain that. And this is my normal sprint up the hill, and I am in drive normal, and I'm going to sprint up the hill. Right, here we go. Now, it's a slower pickup. We're in second, but then wallop. It's quite a quick change. Second stretches a fair distance, and first surprise with this car is how it's got quite a peaky engine. You get it sort of linear because it's a V8 4.7 litre 310 horsepower, but it really gets a bit more of a move on from 4,000 on. It's a cami engine, in other words, and it's worth tapping into that. The trouble with the auto gearbox is how do you tap into it, and easy ways to lock out third. So if I had done that on the sprint up the hill, then it's quite a much more reactive auto gearbox, and you're into that second gear and whoa, off we go. And it's a surprise how reactive the gearbox. This is the 4-speed auto. If you went for an earlier car, and I believe it's 1984, I'll flat it up, when it changed from 3-speed to 4-speed, having the 4-speed auto makes a big difference. It's much more reactive, and obviously there's another gear in it. I think the trouble with the auto is there's quite a big gap between second and third, because this is a 160 mile an hour car. You sort of forget it's a sort of proper sports car, but that is the top speed of it, tested by magazines back in period. So fourth has to go a long way, and third sort of backs up fourth rather than backing up second gear, if you see what I mean. But I'm now going down to my testing road, so I'm going to put it into third there. I can indicate I could use second, so I can press that, go into second, and then accelerate away in second, and there you go. But the funny thing is, the kick down works so well, I find I don't hold it in second very often. The other trick with the auto gearbox is how to get a snappier start is if you put it in second, it will then start from a standstill in first. In a normal mode, it actually moves off in second gear, so it's quite a relaxed start, step off if you like. But you can put it in a second, and a little top tip that 928 Specialist told me was you can, when you're stationary, you can put it in a second, the gearbox then selects first, and then you can quietly move it back to third without moving, and it will still start off in first. So yeah, that's the sort of way to use the auto gearbox. Now, I'm now going to compare it to the manual 928S that I drove at Goodwood. And I should just say the Porsche Museum 928S that they brought to Goodwood, they'd actually taken the spoilers off and put the early wheels on it, just so it had the look of an original 928, even though it was actually a 928S and should have had the spoilers that this car's got, but they'd been taken off for photographic purposes. And the first difference I noticed was the engine didn't have the sparkle at the top end that this has. Both were 4.7, but as I explained in the video earlier, this is a 1986.5, and this engine got the twin distributors and electronic fuel injection and slightly different cams that got 310 horsepower. Other cars have 310 without being a 1986.5. I'm sorry about all these facts and figures, but there is definite more sparkle to the 310 horsepower 4.7s to the 300 4.7s. The other thing I noticed was the brakes on here are much better, because by being an 86.5 I got the S4 brakes up front. that was immediately apparent in normal driving, let alone hard driving. There's just a proper modern response to these brakes being the S4 brakes with the twin piston calipers rather than the sliding calipers. So that's definitely worth having. But the manual gearbox on the 928, it's just not a very nice change. It's a little vague, especially first to second. So dogleg first and into second is just a peculiar change, and it's just loose. Now I'm just going to show you one of the star turns of a 928 round here. Well, one, there's that kick down, really responsive kick down. This sits on 225 tyres, and yet it's sharp and trustworthy and way better down this road than I ever envisaged. You look at the tyres, you think, oh, it can't handle like it does. It's basically an unflappable chassis. That's what I've discovered with this. I've pushed it really hard. At no moment has it thought, oh, that feels a bit wobbly, or that's a bit on the edge. It just deals with it. It is a Porsche chassis on it, and it's mighty impressive. It's not a car you take out for a drive on your favourite B road type of thing and here we go. But when you do get to one in 928, you think, crikey, I didn't expect it to be that good. And it's so not like an R129 which I compared to it previously, because it's got Porsche steering. It's one of the best driving positions of any of my cars. I'm absolutely in the centre, the wheel is perfectly placed, it moves up and down with the instruments, and the seats are fantastic, absolutely fantastic, helped by being fabric, I think, rather than leather. They do look, they're a little slippery, the leather, but I am gripped here on my torso. It's just, I could sit here for hours and, as I say, munch miles. It is exceptional on the driving position and seating comfort, and I've got air conditioning. This car is actually enhanced another way because it's got the Blaupunkt Brennan unit in it that has Bluetooth connectivity, so I can use all the apps, and I've got hands-free phone in here. The basic thing is I do not feel as though I'm driving an 80s car in any way. It's from ignoring the Brennan, it feels like a late 90s car. I've got ABS, I've got this rear steer, I've got this reactive auto, fantastic air conditioning. It's just not the early car, and yet the 928 was first envisaged in 1973, and they delayed the launch of it because of the fuel crisis and sort of turned it away from being a 5-litre V8 into a 4.5 low compression so it could do better MPG. And then by sort of the 80s, hang on a minute, we're Porsche, we're a sporting brand, and they sort of upped the sportiness, shall we say, of the 928. Now I'm just going to show, so I'm going to select second now, move it to third, and here we go. Now that is starting off in first, but it doesn't, yeah, it changes up at 5, and then second it has stretched to the red line. It's a bit odd, that bit, but here we are, into these corners, sharp brake. I'm going to rely on the kick down. I could change down to second, but I think I'll rely on second. Into here, look how sharp that turns in there. And there it is, kicks down, off you go. It is really quite impressive the way this moves down a road like this. And into here. It's a very balanced chassis. It's got this 50-50 weight distribution because it's a 928. But yeah, it is a surprise how this car drives. And yet the manual and auto argument will go on forever with these cars. But my take, having lived with this car, is I would choose auto every time. Because the manual, you're trying to pretend this car is a ultimate sports car. It's like a 911 rival. It's not, it's a GT car. So it's almost a misnomer having the manual gearbox. And because it's not a very nice change, I don't feel as though I really want it. Having lived with this auto and done many more miles, I really like this car in this form. And I was talking to Paul at the 928 Special, and I was saying, how you get on manual to auto? And that's all he does all day long is 928. He says, I'll have an auto every day of the week. And the other advantage is if you were looking to get a 928, well, buying an auto is a bit cheaper. Now, price. Lots of people ask me what I paid for this car because I basically bought it before it hit the website. This car was offered to me at £55,000 and I paid very close to that. That is quite a premium, but I knew the previous owner has spent about that on it to get it into this condition. So basically I was buying almost a like new Porsche 928 86.5 S2 with a passenger interior that just sold it to me. So yes, I paid a lot for it, but there's been a lot of interest in it since I bought it. So I don't know, it's just a great car. And the condition of this car has been borne out by the miles I've done. It's been exceptionally hot in the UK, and this can sit in traffic. It could go down motorways. It will cruise, got cruise control, sitting at 75 indicated, and the temperature gauge never moves. You can sit in traffic for 20 minutes, it doesn't move. Oil pressure's fine, volts, etc. So as I say, I've had no issues with it whatsoever. So there you go. That's a sort of quick summary of 928, how I found living with it. I think there's more interest today in the transaxle Porsches, as they're termed, and 928 has sort of been in the doldrums for quite a while, although I think values have picked up recently, because 911 prices have gone stratospheric. And when you can pick a quality of a car like this up at 50,000, it's quite an interesting alternative, especially in today's road conditions when this is absolutely perfect for mile munching in 2026. It's just so livable. It's a proper GT, got space, got loads of oddment sort of spaces. I love the door pockets, love all the glove box, and there's a shelf under the glove box and all the space in the back. So yeah, it's a very easy car to live with as long as you get a sorted one, which is always the message with these things. But that's the same with 911. And I'm amazed that they're not sort of galactic mileage examples out there, because that's what it does best, is eat miles. What would be my pick? Well, if you can find an 86.5 example like this one, there's only 2,000 in the world, so they're quite rare things. I would definitely go for one of those. I think it's the pick of the 928. It's the best bits of all the car. Let's just go around here again. It's extraordinary. There's the kick down happening again, round here, and power out. Whoa. So yeah, I think these are worth a premium over a regular S2. Then you move to the S4s, which I don't think are quite as pretty, but they've got the 32 valve engine. They're more sorted in a number of ways. And I say, just go for an auto. Try an auto and just see how you get on with it, is what I would do. Or go for the GTS if you really want ultimate experience manual. But then you're paying quite a lot of money. They're around the £70,000 mark. It's interesting when you get a car and you like it more 3 months later than you did when you bought it. There's always excitement when you buy it, but that's what I find with this. We find it as a go-to car night or an easy trip out. We just quite often take this Porsche 928. It's much easier to live with than like that XJ Coupe I had or the Lamborghini Espada, but they were 70s cars. So yeah, that's what I found out on 928. I would like it to be more vocal. There's a fairly subdued V8 woofle from outside. You don't really pick that up on the inside. It does 22 mpg, but it's got a big tank. There's a bump thump if there's no cat's eyes on this road, but if you hit those, it comes through in the cabin quite, yeah, it's quite loud. But I think the tyres are old on this car. I want to get new tyres where there are about 8-9-year-old tyres on it, but they're a bit tricky because of the 160 mile an hour potential speed of this car. So anyway, we'll get those fitted and maybe do another report in the future. But I hope you found this useful and you've enjoyed this video on the Porsche 928 and my findings. If you have, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon. Thanks for watching.